Hello, thank you for listening. This is the near-death experience of Charles, and Charles' experience occurred on February 27th of 2012 and was documented on July 11th of 2018. Open quote. I died twice the night I had the heart attack. I feel sorry for anyone who says there is no God. When I died, I had entered into heaven. I couldn't take my eyes off of what I saw. Angels had me underneath each arm, one on the left, one on the right arm. I was aware of their presence, but I couldn't take my eyes off of what was in front of me. What I saw was like flying a plane into a very rural airport. It was like when you see a light way out in front of you, and it gets bigger and brighter the closer you get to it. I believe this is the light at the end of the tunnel effect we hear so much about. I saw a wall of the whitest of white clouds with a light emanating from them. I knew, all caps, what was behind those clouds, and I knew what the source of that light was. I knew it was Jesus. I saw Jesus riding the prettiest white horse I have ever seen. I couldn't take my eyes off of him. He was riding very fast from my right to my left. We were traveling sideways and toward him at the same time. We got closer and he looked over at us, held out his left hand, and said, "It is not your time." Instantly, we were traveling backwards at what seemed to be light speed. I remember spiraling back down through the roof of the building. It was strange. Then I passed through the ceiling tiles and looked down. I saw my body. When the heart attack struck, I was at work. I had just come back into the building from the main office. My cell phone battery was dead. I got up from my desk and walked maybe 6 or 7 feet to plug in my phone to charge the battery. I made it back to the side of my desk. Then I had the heart attack. I stumbled to my chair and thought I needed to get my feet elevated. So I put my feet up on the desk and reclined the office chair. No one else was in the building. When I came back through the ceiling, that is the scene that I saw. My lifeless body was still there, just as I left it, when I was taken from my body. I slowly floated downward. When I got to the point where I thought I was going to kiss myself, I rolled over and just laid back into my body. I remember taking that first breath and how badly it hurt. I don't know how long I was there until I died again. It was almost a carbon copy of the first experience. We were traveling through space at an amazing speed. The only way I know to explain it is like in the movies, Star Wars or Star Trek. When they go really fast, the stars look like lines zipping past. The only thing different from the first time was when Jesus held out his hand. This time he said, "I told you that your time is not yet come." I felt like I was in trouble for coming back so soon. It wasn't a threatening feeling or anything like that. It was a feeling of having to be told something a second time. When I came back through the ceiling the second time and saw my body, I braced myself. I knew the pain I was in for. I still had a euphoric feeling of amazement at what had just happened to me, but I knew what I was in for when I entered my body again. God let me know everything was going to be all right. There was a peace that came over me like nothing on this earth could ever imagine. I knew everything was going to be all right. While this was going on, my wife, who was at home 35 miles away, had no idea of what was happening. But something told her to get down on her knees and pray for me like she had never prayed for me before. After she did this, she called my work because she knew something was wrong. I answered the phone, and she didn't recognize my voice. I was very weak and in a lot of pain. She asked me what was wrong. I simply told her I didn't feel good. I finished my shift and then went to the doctor. They ran tests on me and told me I had a heart attack. They did heart surgery, and I came through it okay. If it weren't for God's mercy and grace, I wouldn't be here today. End quote. Charles, what a great story. An amazing experience. Oh my gosh. and having been told the second time from Jesus, that was pretty neat. Interesting that maybe because the second heart attack, okay, so it says it was almost a carbon copy of the first experience. We were traveling through space at an amazing speed. So, same angels, right? Maybe. I mean, carbon copy. And then he goes and sees Jesus, and Jesus says, hey, I told you, it's not your turn. But those angels, interesting that the angels took him on his second. They didn't know not to come. Maybe they don't. I don't know. I mean, if Jesus says, hey, it's not your turn, you're not your time, I told you that, you should go back again. Maybe, you see what I'm saying? Kind of interesting. And totally interesting about his wife knowing something was going on. And I'm sure many people may have that connection and with another person that would signal that. Pretty cool. There are some questions. Rating your highest level of consciousness. Answer. There was absolute knowledge when I was out of my body. I am sure of what I saw there, then I am sure I am sitting here writing this. You know you are home there, and you know everything is as it should be. And question, during the time of your experience, were you at your highest level of consciousness? When during your experience? Answer, when I saw Jesus. I don't remember going up through the ceiling or leaving my body. My first recollection are when we were in what I can only refer to as outer space, just before traveling really, really fast. I don't remember much about the trips coming back. I remember going backwards really fast after being told it wasn't my time yet. But after that, the next thing I remember is floating down, gently spiraling high above the facility. Question, comparing your vision. Question, comparing your vision. Answer, high definition doesn't even begin to describe the clarity in which I was able to see. I had PRK surgery done on both eyes. PRK is the predecessor to LASIK. Due to damage from small pieces of steel being drilled out of my eyes could not be corrected back to 2020. Yet I saw as if I had ultra 4K definition vision. The highest tech 4K Ultra HD TV can't hold a candle to the way I was able to see there. Question, did you pass into or through a tunnel? Answer, yes. What I saw was like flying a plane into a very rural airport. It is like when you see a light way out in front of you and it gets bigger and brighter and closer. And the bigger and brighter, the closer you get to it. It gave the appearance of coming out of a tunnel. I believe this is the light at the end of the tunnel effect we hear so much about. Question. Did you seem to enter some other unearthly world? Answer, when we broke through the clouds, we entered the most beautiful green field after traveling through space. Question, what emotions did you feel during the experience? Answer, I felt love, certainty, euphoric, amazement, and a sense that I was home. I also felt a sense that everything was right as rain and that everything was as it should be. I felt a peace that was like no other. Question, did you suddenly seem to understand everything? Answer, instant and absolute, all caps, knowledge. Before you could finish thinking of a question, you knew the answer immediately, and it was the absolute correct answer. There were no, well, I guess this. It was absolute truth. There was no second guessing. I knew. Question, what was your religion prior to your experience? Answer, Christian. non-denominational. Question, have your religious practices changed since your experience? Answer, no. Question, did your experience include features consistent with your earthly beliefs? Answer, entirely consistent. I knew that Jesus is alive and well in heaven. This experience was entirely consistent with my Christian beliefs. Question, did you seem to encounter a mystical being or presence or hear an unidentifiable voice? Answer, I saw Jesus twice, ! And the angels that were carrying me. Question, during your experience, did you gain information about universal connection or oneness? Answer, uncertain. I knew everything was as it should be. I knew that I was home and that Earth is not our home. Question, during your experience, did you gain information about an afterlife? Answer, an afterlife definitely exists. Answer, an afterlife definitely exists. I saw Jesus, and I know he was crucified. Question, during your experience, did you gain information about love? Answer, yes. You could feel the love. It was everywhere. You could feel that you were loved unconditionally. Question, what life changes occurred in your life after your experience? Answer, no changes. The experience only confirmed what I already believed / knew to be true. Question, have your relationships changed specifically because of your experience? Answer, yes. My wife and I are even closer. That's awesome. Question, was the experience difficult to express in words? Answer, yes. There are things there that are indescribable, and the speed at which we were traveling and the absolute knowledge. Question, how accurately do you remember the experience? Answer, I am sure of what happened to me then and of what I saw, then I am sure of filling out this report. No psychic abilities or other special gifts. Question, are there one or several parts of your experience that are especially meaningful or significant to you? Answer, seeing my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and knowing that I was home. Question, have you ever shared this experience with others? Answer, yes. Hours later, they were amazed and concerned. My wife had validation of what she was told. Question, did you have any knowledge of NDEs prior to your experience? Answer, yes. I had heard of NDEs and had watched videos and believed they had happened. It did not affect me other than to put a name to what happened to me, but I do not refer to it as a near-death experience. I died twice. Question, what did you believe about the reality of your experience? Answer, it was definitely real. I couldn't be sure of what happened to me. The fact that God told my wife to pray only strengthens this position. She was 35 miles away when this happened. She has her own story about that. Experience was definitely real. Question, is there anything else you would like to add about your experience? Answer, on average, how much time do people spend picking a vacation spot, route, fuel stops, motels, etc., if they're doing a road trip, flights, and how long will they plan to stay? Now, how much time have they spent researching where they will spend all eternity? End quotes, end questions. Charles, thank you. Thank you so much. And what an amazing story. And golly, I know that the words here and what I've read probably doesn't do it justice for sure. It sounds amazing, and I appreciate you sharing that with us. And thank you guys out there for listening. Hope you have a great day.